Hi YouTube, it's Kayla again. Today's video is going to be something that I haven't talked a ton about, and I've noticed people looking for them more and more on YouTube with experiences and emotional help, support, things like that. I've been seeing a lot of questions on forums for moms on how to deal with it and how it can be traumatic. So this video is basically going to be about my hemorrhaging right after Emma was born and the manual removal of my placenta that got stuck. So basically Emma's birth was very quick. We had a water birth. It was the best experience possible. Right after she was born in the bathtub, I started bleeding tremendously to the point where they couldn't wait any longer for Emma's cord to be cut, even though I had requested that so she got all of the blood that she needed. And I ended up being moved to the bed to try to deliver the placenta, and it got stuck. Every time I pushed, I kept feeling large things come out, and I'm like, yep, that was the placenta. And they're like, no, that was a blood clot. And I had numerous ones. Every time I pushed, there was another blood clot, and they were pretty big. They weren't, say hi. Hi. They were big, and it got to the point where they were calling to do a DNC, I guess, kind of, in an operating room with a guy I had never met. At this point, I started freaking out, not knowing what was going to happen. I didn't want to go. I just wanted the placenta to be, stop kicking that, the placenta to be delivered, by my midwife. I trusted her. Hold on. There you go. I trusted her. I don't know, I got scared, so I started freaking out, and they ended up giving me the removal right there without any pain meds. They gave me a shot of Pitocin to try to stop the bleeding. And my midwife ended up doing it herself. And it was traumatic. It was scary. It was overwhelming, to say the least. After that, and her having to do stitches and things like that, I was in quite a bit of pain, and they ended up poking me with something, and it made me feel like an out-of-body experience type of thing, like you were very not with it, but you wanted to talk all day long. After the procedure had happened, of course they had to clean you up because you had just given blood and they just removed the placenta forcefully. And when they went to go clean me up, I ended up passing out multiple times. They, had to catch me, of course, and then they used ammonia to wake me up. Quite honestly, it's made me cry a lot. It's made me sad. It's made me think of times where doctors weren't as experienced and what would have happened if I didn't have medical intervention. What if I had done this at home and, got really hurt or possibly died, something like that. I'm thankful for the help that my midwife had given me. But I also, even, 18 months later, I still think of this, and I still think of how humiliating it was to have all these people rushing around you and just putting their hands in places they shouldn't have been. And then after being like, okay, you're all set. And, after that, they continue to give you medication to make your uterus contract for the next few days. And it was awful. It hurt so much. It was like being in labor for days. And my labors were very quick. They were only 3 hours, but that's the only way I could describe it. It was the same pain. I have tried to find help on the matter because I know I got very depressed right after the birth of Emma for a few months, and then going through the breakup with their father. It was a hard thing, a hard lesson, and I think the best advice I could give anybody who has to go through this and feels as traumatized as I do is ask for help. Be willing to talk to people, explain how you're feeling. I basically just want to put this video out here so if anybody ever felt they couldn't go to their family or their friends, that they could come to me and ask me for help and ask me for, you know, opinions or just to talk. It's hard, you know, you feel vulnerable at that state, and it left me dizzy for months where I had lost so much blood and I was so anemic. My levels for iron went down to, I think, just over 7.9. So either 7.9 or 5.9. I lost a lot of blood. You know, and so I was started immediately on iron supplements, very high dosages, just because you can only keep so much in your body. So, you know, it's hard. So, if anybody has any questions or would like to share their experience, I'd love to hear from you. As I said, I don't see this much at all on YouTube, and I think it's something that ought to be talked about so that women don't feel alone. You know, be there for somebody who has been through that and to show that you care. But I guess that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching.